We'd been together for 6 years. I bought the ring, rehearsed the words, got down on one knee, and then she ran to someone else. You never think it's going to be you. The guy holding the box, heart pounding, ready to ask the biggest question of his life, only to get blindsided. But yeah, I was that guy. And this is the story of how 6 years turned into 6 seconds of brutal clarity. My name's Eric. I met Jenna when we were 24, fresh out of college, both new to the city, and broke in that romantic post-grad way. We clicked instantly. Same sarcastic humor, same unhealthy obsession with true crime documentaries, same idea of a perfect weekend. Beer, takeout, and staying in. By year 2, we were living together. By year 4, we'd met each other's families, survived COVID lockdowns, and even adopted a cat. The logical next step? Marriage. But she always said, don't make a big deal of it. No public proposals, no photographers hiding in bushes. She wanted it chill and private. So I listened. I planned something quiet, intimate, just us. What I didn't plan for was the other guy. It was a Friday in late April. I took a half day off work and went home early to set everything up. Candles, her favorite Thai food, that dumb Netflix series we both secretly liked. I even put the ring in a mug she used every morning, a little inside joke from our second date. She came in around 6:45 p.m., hair messy from the wind, jacket slung over one shoulder. I smiled like an idiot, couldn't help it. Hey, she said, dropping her keys. What's all this? I wanted to make dinner for you, I said, trying to sound casual. Been a long week. She gave me a weird look. Not suspicious, more like distracted, but she smiled, kissed me, and went to change. We ate, laughed, watched 2 episodes of Mindhunter. Then I handed her the mug. Babe, I said, can you grab us some water? She picked it up, walked to the sink, then paused, looked inside, her eyebrows pinched together, and then she saw it. The ring. Her back was still turned when she said, Eric, what is this? I stood, heart hammering, walked over slowly and gently turned her around. I know you said you didn't want anything big, I began, but this felt right. We've built a life together, and I love you. I want that next chapter with you. Will you marry me? The silence that followed felt like a vacuum. She looked at me, but her eyes weren't soft or surprised. They were panicked. Her hands trembled slightly. Then she whispered, I can't. My stomach dropped. Wait, what? I'm sorry, she said, stepping back. Eric, I didn't think you'd actually do this now. What are you talking about? We've been talking about this for years. I didn't think you still wanted it after how things have been, she said. Her voice cracked. Eric, I didn't mean for it to go this far. Then she said the sentence that made everything around me collapse. There's someone else. There's someone else. Those 3 words hit like a steel-toed boot to the ribs. I didn't say anything at first. Couldn't. My mind was trying to catch up, like a system crashing under too much input. She stood there, ring box still open on the counter, breathing heavy like she was the one who'd just been blindsided. I didn't mean for it to happen, she added quickly. It started as talking, at work. I didn't think it would go anywhere. I forced myself to speak. How long? Her lips parted, then closed again. She looked down at the floor. Jenna, I said, sharper now. How long? She swallowed. 5 months. I felt the kitchen spin. 5 months, I repeated, while we were living together, while we were planning a vacation, while we were talking about buying a house. She started crying. I didn't know how to stop it. I kept telling myself it wasn't real, that it was just a stupid distraction. I thought it would end, but it didn't, I cut in. She shook her head slowly. It got serious. I stepped back, pressing my hand against the table to stay upright. Is it someone I know? She hesitated again. That was my answer. Who? I asked. She winced. You're gonna hate me. Too late for that. She whispered his name. Mark. My stomach flipped. Mark was her co-worker, the one she swore was just a friend, the one I'd met twice at happy hours, the one she texted occasionally, just work stuff, the one whose name I knew and never liked. Of course it was him. Unbelievable, I muttered, walking out of the kitchen and into the hallway, just to breathe. She followed, barefoot, still crying. I didn't mean to hurt you, Eric. I swear to God I didn't. I turned around. You didn't mean to get caught. That's what you didn't mean. Her face crumpled, and for a second I thought she'd collapse. She leaned against the wall like her legs might give out. I didn't say yes because I knew I couldn't lie to you anymore, she said, voice barely above a whisper. I couldn't keep pretending. So what now? I asked. You're choosing him? She nodded slowly. I already did. I didn't sleep at the apartment that night. I drove. No music, no calls, just the low hum of the engine and my own brain tearing itself apart. I ended up in a Walmart parking lot, sitting in my car under those buzzing floodlights, watching people walk in and out like their lives weren't imploding. I kept replaying the moment, me on one knee, her looking terrified, the ring sitting in that stupid mug like it was part of some cruel joke she'd known for months. She'd been going to him after work while coming home to me, cooking dinner, kissing me goodnight, saying I love you like nothing was wrong, and I never saw it. That's the part that really tore me apart. The next day, I went back to get my things. She wasn't home. I didn't text. I didn't leave a note. I packed only what I needed: clothes, laptop, toothbrush, a few books. I left the ring on the nightstand. By the time I closed the door behind me, it didn't even feel like our home anymore. Just a hollow, pretty space full of lies. A week later, she posted a photo. Her, in a different city, with him, her arms wrapped around his. That same fake smile she'd given me for the last few months. I blocked her after that, not out of bitterness, just survival. Because loving someone for 6 years and losing them in 6 seconds to someone they chose while still sleeping beside you changes something in you. And I wasn't about to watch their happy ending unfold while I was still piecing myself together. Breakups usually happen like slow leaks. One fight too many. Someone sleeps on the couch. Calls get shorter, texts get drier. But this felt like stepping on a landmine. One second I was building a future, the next I was dragging my life out of her apartment in a duffel bag, avoiding photos and memories like shrapnel. For the first 2 weeks, I stayed with my buddy Jake. He had a futon that folded like a bad promise and a fridge stocked with nothing but craft beer and expired hummus, but it felt safe, quiet. Man, he said one night, tossing me a drink. I never liked her, always got this weird vibe. I gave him a look. You could have said something before I bought a ring. He shrugged. Would you have listened? Fair enough. The thing no one tells you about being left is how weird the silence feels. It's not even heartbreak, not right away. It's disorientation, the absence of texts, shared routines, background noise. I kept reaching for my phone to tell her things before remembering she wasn't mine anymore. I didn't cry. Not at first, not even the night I left. I was too angry, too numb, but then one morning I found one of her socks stuck to the bottom of my laundry. That's when I lost it, alone in the bathroom, sitting on the edge of the tub, sock in hand like an idiot. 6 years together, and I was being haunted by cotton. About a month in, Jenna texted me. Just one line. I hope you're okay. I stared at it for 5 minutes, thumbs hovering over the screen. I typed out 5 different replies. Why now? Took you long enough. Are you still with him? Delete my number. I deleted them all. Then I did the only thing that felt right. I didn't respond. I started seeing a therapist. Best decision I ever made. First session, I told her everything. How I thought Jenna was the one. How I didn't see the signs. How humiliated I felt after the proposal. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "You didn't fail. You were just the only one still showing up." That hit me in the chest like a freight train. I'd been walking around with this story in my head, that I was some clueless fool who got played. But she reframed it. I was loyal. She was done, and too cowardly to say it. 3 months after the proposal, I moved into my own place. Small 1-bedroom near the lake. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. I bought new dishes, a new couch, even a new shower curtain. No trace of her. And for the first time in years, I started feeling like myself again. I didn't check her socials. I didn't ask around what she did, where she was, who she was with. It wasn't my business anymore, but I'd be lying if I said I never wondered. It wasn't until 6 months later that I saw her again. Not in person, just a photo someone tagged her in. Her and Mark, same city, still together, smiling. But here's the thing. I didn't feel anything. No rage, no grief, no urge to throw my phone across the room, just a weird, quiet relief, like finally closing a book I didn't realize I'd been carrying. A year passed, 12 full months since I knelt in that kitchen, offered her everything, and got left with nothing. And weirdly, I wasn't bitter anymore. Don't get me wrong, it still hurt sometimes. like when friends got engaged and I had to smile through it, or when I saw couples laughing over dinner and felt that cold tug in my chest. But it wasn't jealousy. It wasn't anger. It was just memory, residue, wounds heal. Scars don't always mean pain. I ran into Jenna again. Not planned, not dramatic. Just a Saturday morning in late spring, walking out of a bookstore, coffee in hand, and boom, there she was. Hair shorter, same eyes. She froze when she saw me. We both hesitated, then walked toward each other like two people meeting in a dream they weren't expecting. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey, how've you been?" she asked, like we were old classmates instead of ex-fiancés. "Good," I said, and I meant it. "You?" She nodded. "Yeah, things are steady." Translation: not perfect. I didn't ask about Mark. I didn't want to know. She glanced down at my cup. "Still drink it black, huh?" I smiled. "Some things don't change." She looked at me for a second, like she wanted to say something more. Maybe sorry, maybe nothing at all. Then she said, "You look good. Happier." I paused. "I am." We said goodbye. No hugs, no lingering glances, just a short, polite wave. She turned and walked away. And I didn't look back. Later that day, I met up with someone. Her name's Riley. We met at a mutual friend's birthday thing about 5 months ago. She's not flashy or dramatic. She reads a ton, doesn't fake laugh, and calls me out when I'm being too guarded, which, let's be honest, is often. She knows the story. I told her everything one night on the hood of her car under a sky full of stars. She didn't flinch, just listened, and then said, "Well, it's a good thing you didn't marry the wrong person." That line stuck with me. So here's what I've learned. Sometimes the person you picture your future with turns out to be just a chapter, not the whole book. Sometimes the proposal ends with silence, not celebration. But endings like that, they clear the way for better beginnings. And sometimes the love you thought you lost is just making space for the kind that finally fits.